Ja, sehr gut. Ich weiß ja nicht wofür, aber es ist, glaube ich, ganz gut. So in Trabigo? Ja.
Sieht irgendwie so aus, als wäre da
gehakelt.
Ne?
Ja, Kriegst du ihn raus? Okay, so. Ja, das ist gut. Den Draht gar nicht so weit rein, den Draht ein bisschen tiefer rein, so da den Draht lassen. Und jetzt einfach mal versuchen, nur mit dem Katheter zu arbeiten. Guck mal lateral, ob du da auch in der richtigen Ebene bist. Bist zu tief, bist zu weit hinten, ne?
Das ist weiter vorne, ja.
Ja, ich brauche irgendeinen Hahn, ne?
Mach du mal.
Okay. Warum kommen wir nicht nach hinten?
Sehr gut.
Hoffe ich jedenfalls, dass wir jetzt richtig sind. Ja.
Doch, das ist richtig. Okay.
Haben wir eigentlich schon Drücke gemessen gehabt?
Also im Ventrikel hatte ich auch... Yvonne, hatten wir den RV-Druck gemessen?
Ja. Den RA-Druck auch?
Ja, hatten wir.
Und haben wir da, können wir das irgendwie zeigen, dass der eine Stenose hat? RA gegen RV oder so, haben wir sowas?
Das.
RA ist 12, 10, 9, ja?
Ja.
Aber kann man nicht so richtig sehen jetzt, ne?
Naja, enddiastolisch ist 6 und A-Welle ist 12. Das heißt, es ist ein Gradient von 6.
Würdest du so dann, das müssen wir dann so zeigen nachher, ne? Das ist ja, das müssen wir denen irgendwie vermitteln.
Prova 1, 2, 3, prova.
Dann jetzt dieser.
Prova 1, 2, 3, prova. Prova. Prova 1, 2, 3. Senti. Prova 1, 2, 3, prova. Prova 1, 2, 3, sì, prova, prova.
Du glaubst, es ist die linke, oder?
Ja. Nimm mal den Bogen ein bisschen aus dem rechten Vorhof raus. Noch ein bisschen. Noch ein bisschen. So, und jetzt mit Schwung. Schneller, schneller, schneller.
Ah, ja. Das ist die rechte.
Das ist auch gut, genau. Aber das musst trotzdem mit Schwung machen. Genau. Ja, gut. Was ist? Nee, ja. Muss nochmal ein bisschen.
Ja, ich will halt sehen, wo ich bin.
Okay, bitte. Ja, sehr gut.
Dann brauchen wir jetzt den Ballon, oder?
Ja. 26er, wollen nicht einen 28er?
Ja,
28er Ballon, bitte. Z-Med. Den kürzesten, den wir haben. Ja, dann mal los. Dann nehmen wir den, ja. Mhm. Und? Gut, okay. Und eine Perfusorspritze brauche ich dann noch. Ja, haben wir? Okay. Ja. So should we switch to English now? Just to get a little bit accustomed to what will happen in the... Ich brauche nicht, ja, ich will die nur halt zum Füllen, also so 10 Kontrast, 40 Kochsalz wäre gut.
Beate, könnten Sie mal gelb spülen, bitte?
Ja, können Sie hier gleich zapfen?
So ist gut.
Nee, aber hier in der Spritze ist. So, das geht jetzt.
Was sagst du?
Das ist, kannst du schon einführen, den Ballon?
Ja, wenn du mir den Draht festhältst.
Mach doch mal selbst. So, jetzt hätten wir
Ich soll das
einmal,
selbst machen.
Ja. Jetzt hätte ich gerne einmal Kontrast hier. Ah gut, okay. Ist nicht offen. Ja. So. Ja.
Es würde mir helfen, du würdest es machen.
Okay.
Es geht schon eng. Geht schon eng.
Okay, da sind wir. Jetzt müssen wir es noch einmal entlüften hier. Ich hätte gerne nochmal, den können wir hier nehmen.
Der geht fast zu steil hoch, ne?
Wenn du nachher anstemmst, wird sich das hoffentlich auspendeln. Du kannst ja mal anstemmen, den Draht. Okay. Ja, super, danke. Wisst ihr?
Ja, richtig.
Und dann wird er auch kommen.
Ja, das ist besser.
Von? Ah. Alles gut, alles gut. So. Gut, versuchen wir es, ne?
Jo. Ist rausgerutscht. So, jetzt. Ich filme.
Bitte? Okay, ich nehme es raus. Ganz schön groß.
Ja. Vielleicht doch die große Klappe, ha?
Mal gucken. So, wir müssen einmal messen. Herr Tanase, einmal messen den Ballon in dem Durchmesser, da?
Aber es muss, die 26er
Wir
muss
bräuchten
gehen.
eventuell eine große 26er. Ja, sage ich Ihnen. Ja, aber wir messen jetzt mal, das ist ein 28er Ballon, der hat fast überhaupt keine Taille.
Ja, aber Peter, schau mal, im seitlichen hat er schon eine Taille.
Gut, okay. Herr Tanase, vielleicht ruhig lateral messen.
Und ich meine, die Erwachsenen würden immer, wenn das in der Aortenposition wäre, bei dieser Klappe eine 26er nehmen.
Wenn das, ja, man muss ja immer nur wissen, ist es wirklich die Klappe, die da drauf steht.
Das ist natürlich
Wenn es
richtig.
eine andere Klappe
Ja,
ist
das
und das
stimmt
nachher rausfällt.
Ja, das ist wahr.
Wunderbar, sehr gut. 26, passt alles. Passt alles.
Es wird die Frage kommen, warum wir dann keine Melodie haben.
Warum? Weil wir sind doch über
Sehe
24.
ich auch.
Und die wird besser
Aber die
passen.
Frage wird kommen.
Guck mal, das ist interessant, dass sich das jetzt verkippt, wenn man es aufbläst. Siehst du das? Schau noch mal, wie das aussieht, wenn man... Weißt du, was ich meine?
Dass die, ja,
Ja?
der geht
Das
so.
kippt. Wir müssen vielleicht noch eine etwas andere Projektion nehmen nachher. Aber das, können wir noch mal die Angio sehen? Die
Sine minus.
Sine minus? Achso, wir haben nur ganz kurz aufgenommen.
Ja, aber
Kriegen wir trotzdem hin?
das kriegen wir trotzdem hin.
Gut, okay. Und draufdrehen. Also drauf. Okay. So, wo sind die ganzen Mädels? Wir müssen einmal nachher. Ihr müsstet euch einmal hier irgendwo hinstellen, dass wir einmal mit Kamera sehen, wer das ist. Ja. Ready to go to Munich, okay. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear us in Munich?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you hear us in Munich? From? Can you hear us from?
Munich? Are you there?
Yeah, we are here. To whom we are speaking?
We can hear you and see you.
Oh, that's very good. I don't know from which side you see us, but very warm welcome and good morning to Munich. We are ready to present our case. Andreas Eichen will do the case. The stuff here is around us. First of all, Birgit Lindebner from Edwards, she prepares the valve we will implant in a few minutes. And then Yvonne, Beate and Petra who support us in this case. Now outside is waiting Dr. Tanase with the first case, and he will present the first case, a patient with Epstein's anomaly. Please, Daniel, go ahead.
So, a warm welcome again, and we would like to present our first case. This is an 18 years old patient, a female patient with an Epstein anomaly and a WPW, where ablation of accessory pathways were done at early years, and replacement of the tricuspid valve was done at the age of 11 years with a 27 millimeter Paramount valve. Actually, her exercise capacity lowered, and as you see on the next slide, on the echo revealed a severe stenosis and insufficiency of the valve with a vena contracta of 9 millimeter and a mean gradient of 12 millimeter, which was increasing over the last months. The end-diastolic volume index of the right ventricle is 128 millimeter per square meter, and the ejection fraction is reduced to 36%. So the plan is to implant the new valve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so far. In the meantime, we prepared the first angiographies, which we would like to show you. Can we see A on the screen? Do you see our angiography of the right ventricle?
Okay, so can you hear me? Well, we did our hemodynamic assessment, and we had an invasive gradient between the right atrium A wave and the end diastolic pressure in the right ventricle of 6 millimeters of mercury. So here you see the right ventricular angiogram. You see an enlarged right ventricle with reduced.
Andreas, we cannot see the picture very well. We cannot understand you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Please make that possible. Can you hear me in the meantime?
Can you show the angiograms?
So unfortunately, we do not know what you'd see there.
Anyways, we see an enlarged right ventricle with reduced function and moderate tricuspid.
We cannot hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me? It's me. Well, I think perhaps you can hear me. So what we would like to present you. Yeah, okay. So we would like to present you the first angiogram. I hope you can see it. It's the injection in the right ventricle. You see the enlarged right ventricle after Epstein's anomaly, and you see the bioprothesis in tricuspid position in the true annulus of the right ventricle. And what we did is we wanted to know whether this 27 millimeter Paramount valve has really an inner diameter which is suitable for a 26 millimeter Sapien, and therefore we inserted a stiff guide wire and Lunderquist wire and inflated a 28 millimeter balloon just to get an impression which true diameter we have to deal with. And it resulted, when we see the B picture, that there was a diameter of about 25 to 26 millimeter at the indentation of the balloon. So what we want to do now is to implant a 26 millimeter Sapien S3 into this valve. And I would like to switch to Andreas now. Perhaps we can switch his micro on so that we can proceed. Any questions so far to the case?
What's the measurement here of the balloon?
25 millimeters.
Does this correlate with the published inner diameter of this Paramount, Peter?
The inner diameter of the Paramount from the company is said to be 26. It's a 27 Paramount, and if it's new, it has an inner diameter of 26. But this has now between 24 and 25 at the indentation.
Okay.
I suppose there is no comments or question here, so tell us how are you going to proceed with this now?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we will take out the balloon now, and then we can take the valve already prepared. So perhaps we can show the valve. So who will show us the valve? So what I wanted to show you...
We see how we...
Pardon? Can we have a picture of the valve now? So, can you see the valve now? So, the only thing I wanted to show you is that it is a Sapien 3 valve. That means that, of course, we have it crimped on the balloon in the way that it opens up to the peak of the balloon, and the base of the valve is here to the proximal part, and you can perhaps assume that there is a relatively short skirt inside this introducer which has to be placed on the proximal part of the perimount valve, and the crown of the valve should stick into the right ventricle in order to give way to a free flow. So our aim will be to put this skirt as exactly as possible into the base of this tricuspid valve. Okay, so
this is an overflex system, Peter?
No, this is a so-called commander system for the Sapien 3. It has some. If you have a look at the handle, you see that there are a little bit other features. You don't have this silver knob, this locker. You have another locking mechanism here. But the principle with the balloon, this pear-shaped balloon, which has to be pulled into the valve, is more or less the same. And of course, this is not till now. It's an off-label use to pull the balloon against the direction of the flow through the valve into the valve. But our experience is that there is no problem at all with regard to the function of the valve afterwards.
I think in the process we didn't get the size of this valve that you are going to implant. What is the size, Peter? 26.
This is a 26 Sapien. 26.
Happy?
So we take out the balloon now, so we can have a picture of the fluoro. Andreas just asked Birgit Lindebner whether the valve is crimped in the right direction. Well, I think we will see this in a minute when we inflate it. No, as you can see, the skirt looks to the right direction. We are quite confident that this is the right direction in which we implant it, of course.
If we can move to the moving thoracoscopy.
Yeah, please. Yeah. So at the moment you don't see anything because we just introduced the valve into the sheath. It is the E sheath of 14 French, which is for a short period of time dilated by the valve itself. Here you see the sheath in the IVC, and
since you're going from the groin, it's always important that yes, we do fluoroscopy because the wire can always move.
That's true.
Great.
But we have a very stiff wire, so we feel quite confident. And what we now have to do is to pull the balloon back into the valve in the IVC. So therefore we want to pull back the sheath a little bit so that we can really mount the valve in the balloon inside the IVC. I push a little bit the wire so that we come back and have a straight course of the balloon. Okay, so I think here we are. We can pull back the sheath a little bit more. Yeah, we will try to do so. Then we have to have the camera here on the table. I think this is a good idea. And now we have a straight situation, or a more or less straight situation there, and we have to open the locker of the mechanism. Can you see that? Yeah. I don't know whether you can see it. So we can open the locker.
Yes, we can.
And then Andreas can pull back the balloon into the valve, as you can see here. More and more, till the middle marker, the strong marker is at the top of the valve, so several millimeters more. So that's done. Now we lock again the locking mechanism, and now we have to do the fine-tuning, the last millimeters of the balloon back into the valve by turning the black screw on the handle. Other way around.
Somebody is holding that wire, right?
Well, yeah, this is a big Lindebner, but excellent. But I think we are deep in the right pulmonary artery, so I'm quite confident that we will not have a trouble of the wire. Okay, now you see how the balloon moves into the valve until the top marker is at the top of the valve. Perhaps, yeah, one half. Here we are. Okay, so now the valve is ready for implantation. The next thing we have to do is to take the pusher away. Therefore, we open again the wire. Pardon?
Considering for the deployment casing at the time?
Yeah, well, no, we don't consider it at all, and we don't do any additional things like bending the delivery system. We try to keep it as simple as possible. We have now implanted about 17, 18 tricuspid valves, and I think the less fuss you make about it, the easier it goes, and the straighter the procedure can be performed. I don't know. I don't think you need any pacing, because in the moment where you inflate the balloon, the pressure in the ventricle will drop, and you do not have any forces which try to push the balloon in the one or the other direction.
Okay, du hältst den
Okay,
Ball.
so now we move.
Question,
Yeah, go. So just a second, guys. You have seen the wires in an excellent position.
Yes, we do. And we have Giovanni here waiting for comment, but we will wait until you...
Oh yeah, that's good.
Giovanni wants to comment before the deployment.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, have you made an allowance by increasing the volume of the syringe being so close in terms of the diameter?
Yeah.
A 26 valve and a 27
Yeah.
round.
Good point. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, Joe. Yes, we considered it, but then when we saw that we are below 26 millimeter with the indentation, we felt comfortable that this is not necessary. But you are right. Of course, we could adjust the diameter a little bit by adding a little bit more fluid into the syringe to have either a normal 26 millimeter valve or a large 26 millimeter valve. So this is a normal 26 millimeter valve. Okay, now we want to retract the pusher. You have to open this.
About the use of pacing
Yeah.
during your implant, when you would choose to pace by a coronary implant.
Well, I think we don't need any pacing at all, because at the moment when we inflate the balloon, there is no mechanical force on the balloon any longer, because you deplete the ventricle of volume, and therefore pacing is not so helpful at all. And the movements of the valve are not as strong as that we are really worried to place the valve in the right direction.
I think you have vast experience, Peter, and I know that you have done this from the ejacular, it's most stable and aligned valve and the femoral ones, but I think Professor Sapalki asking about the pacing, the role of pacing. If you look at the system, the relationship to the Petermann's valve and the locking, that may pose difficulty in precision in damping this mode. But we will let you proceed, so we don't want to stop you here, you and Andreas. And
Yeah.
explain to us how you inflate the balloons and how you...
Yeah, well, perhaps we have one more look at the fluoro when we inflated the balloon. And if you have a look at this picture here on the A, then you see that the alignment of balloon and valve, of course, is then perpendicular to each other as soon as the balloon gets fully inflated. And we speculate, of course, that this happens when we inflate the the balloon of the valve as well. Okay, so now we will inflate the balloon of the valve, and perhaps we can one fluoro more that we have the actual picture on the screen. Okay, as the valve, the Sapien 3 has the property to, the stent is not symmetrically, so the foreshortening of the stent is not from both sides the same. It will foreshorten in the last millimeters of expansion from the base to the top and not symmetrically. So what we try to do is to keep the middle marker more or less on the ring of the bioprothesis or a little bit ahead as it is now. And then we will rely on the foreshortening that it gets the right position at the end. But overall, we will do that very, very slowly in order to have as much time as possible to adjust it as good as possible. Andreas, are you ready to do so?
Let's go.
Okay, so we will inflate now, very, very slowly.
But you notice that slowness of that
Very good, Peter.
valve.
So now we wait 6 seconds. I put everything in which I have here in the inflator. The pressure drops and now it is completely full. I open it up and we will see how it works.
Speichern.
So presumably now your leaflet is lower than the parabolic circle, and that's exactly where you wanted it to be.
Exactly, yes. So I hope that the skirt now fits exactly in the baseline of the valve. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And we will take out the delivery system and make a quick angio to see the result, and then afterwards perhaps have a look with the TEE to see how the valve works. Fluid, please.
Yes.
Any comments or questions here?
Now that it's very nicely deployed, one of the questions I think that comes up in my mind is the way the wire always tends to pull the device and the valve up in an unusual direction. There are some wires that that has a nice coil that's used for the TAVR procedure that you could just put at the apex of the ventricle, and it's obviously the big ventricle. You may have enough wire to be able to do that. Did anyone ever, or would you consider that as a possibility rather than having the wire out in a pulmonary artery?
Well, yeah, that's a possibility, but I think we have a more stable course if we do not have it in the right ventricle. But surely that is possible as well. Yeah. Okay, angiogram. Angio. Angio.
Gleiche Menge, gleicher Fluss.
Dr. Kühn can prepare for the echo. Ah, yeah, there it is.
Gleiche Menge, gleicher Fluss.
Okay.
So do you have to be inclined to look at the gradient across this
Yeah.
implant?
I think we will try to do a simultaneous. Yeah, we will, after the angio, we try to have a simultaneous pressure measurement.
Okay, geht los.
Okay, there's certain regurg, but it might be due to the
Extra.
ectopics. And now we try to have a
Bitte den
pressure
Druck,
measurement.
Yvonne.
Can you use the sheet and the IVC as the second line?
Yes, we will do so. So we need the pressure. Yellow is the right atrium. And
Yellow is IVC,
blue.
and blue is right ventricle. Blau mal spülen.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we need the same.
Und Yvonne, beides auf die gleiche Druckstufe. Gelb und Blau auf dieselbe Druckstufe.
Okay, so now we have. Do you see the waveforms? Can you see it? So we have a right atrial. We have a right atrial pressure
Could you
of
put on the
on
tracing?
the tracing, please, and take the monitor. Yes, yes, yes. I would take it this little bit. Okay, so now we have a right atrial pressure of 9 to 8. We have, yeah, well, it's quite nice. I think at the end
There's no
diastole
gradient.
there's no gradient left. There is a certain gradient in inflow in the at the beginning of the diastole. Perhaps it's the movement of the valve which needs a little bit of opening, but after all, in the end diastole, I think there's no relevant gradient left. What do you think about that?
Well, we see some gradient here, but actually when you prime the balloon, did you prime it with a volume that was 26 or reduced it either?
No, we did not reduce it. It was exactly the right amount of liquid.
So we cannot inflate this valve more than what it is now.
Well, we yeah, right. We could do it, but I mean, this is a patient with an Epstein's anomaly and a compromised right ventricle, and we had a right atrial pressure in the end of 8 to 9 millimeters of mercury.
Jetzt habe ich den
I think this is a good
Katheter
result,
ausgemacht, Andreas.
and therefore, I think we are quite happy with that.
We could also see a look at the echo.
Can we have the echo on the screen, please, so that we have a TE?
Yvonne, groß? Ja, genau.
So we would like to see a good picture of the valve first. Yeah, that's good. And can we take the light out of this?
Einmal das Licht ausmachen.
Very nice.
Okay, so yes, please. So that's a tiny central regurg, and the Doppler.
We have a question from the audience.
Yes, please.
What are your comments, Dr. Lansing, on ADI?
Okay, can you repeat it, please? I didn't understand it.
I think there would be concern kind of wire. Question I have is whether glucose step and therefore gives you force, whether a slightly wire like connection might be better orientation.
Okay, can you repeat it, please?
What do you think of that, Peter?
I haven't got the question.
Commented about the wire and the V-shaped wire, like the wire that you're using. Think you can do this procedure with this delivery system with higher than this one and counter any lung injury with this wire?
I'm sorry, the connection is so bad that we cannot. That the sound is always every 2 seconds interrupted. I didn't get the. I know you wanted to know something about the wire, but I didn't get the question. But I just wanted to emphasize you. We had just a very nice en face view of this valve, where you really see the 3 leaflets of the Sapien, and perhaps here you can see it, and perhaps we can have a color. I don't see any transvalvular leakage at least, so this sounds good. But sorry, perhaps we try it again with the question. Hopefully the sound will be better now. Can you repeat the question for us? We don't hear.
You didn't use TEE at all for the implantation. Would you do that at all?
No, we don't do it. This was just to see how the valve works. Normally we would rely on our angiography or have a look from outside. And we felt that it is perfect. However, just to demonstrate that the valve looks good, that it is situated well in the cage and that the leaflets are working. You know, there have been some concerns whether this aortic valve is able to function well under the low pressure condition between right atrium and right ventricle with regard to closing and to opening. But if you see this valve move here, then I think this is out of question that of course these low pressures are enough to make the valve work perfect.
Okay, any other questions from the audience?
Coagulation management after implant.
24 hours of heparin. We give heparin. And then we give 6 months of aspirin.
Switch to Angio, please. Angio, bitte. Okay, guys, so from our side.
That was a terrific case, Peter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. Okay. And we see you in 1 or 2 hours for our second case.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Go on with,
Das ist jetzt super.
go on with our
Kannst du nicht?
next presentation. That will be by Lee Benson.
Hättest du gedacht, dass du lieber einen größeren genommen hättest?
Wunderbar.
Ich glaube, die ist genau richtig.
Genau, sicher so.
Okay.
Okay. Licht? Können wir wieder Licht haben? Licht? Können wir Licht haben? Ah, danke. Okay. Was totaler Scheiß ist, was wir unbedingt brauchen, wir brauchen einen Monitor, dass wir sehen, was die sehen.
Ja, genau.
Ja, das ist einfach Mist so.
Weiß ist Scheiß.
Ja, gut. Sind wir jetzt. Sound is off? Sound is off? Ja. Okay.
Wo sind diese
Bitte?
Abschneiden?
Wir sind fertig jetzt hier, ja. Okay, ich drücke dir oben ab, dann können wir zumachen. Ja, vielen Dank. Super, Frau Lindner, das ging auch gut jetzt, oder? Mit dem, ja.